Hey investors, this is Alex and Ratev with the Go Coaching Club back with another video. And in this video, what we want to do is share with you guys the importance of actually raising capital. Ratev, there's a lot of talk about no money down deals. So if that's the case, why do investors need to know how to raise capital? Because I know we do that in our business. So.
Well, if you look at all the deals that are possible out there, about 10% of them, or even 5%, 5 to 10% of them, you can do with no money deals. The other 90, no money down deals, but the other 90%, some money is required. It may not be your money, but someone else's money got to be there. Now, I'm sure you have heard of no money down deals, no money down offers, and things like that. When that term is used, it's not always that there's no money involved in the deal. It's always that there's not money of your own money that's involved in the deal, but there's some money involved to purchase the property.
So what we're talking about here is we're going to identify for you several different sources of capital. So the first obvious one, of course, is your own cash or credit. Now, the downside with this, of course, is that, the upside is that the pro is that, it's always 100% under your control. Now, the downside is that you need to have obviously very good credit and you have to have the cash. And there's also some other not so obvious downside of this as well, which is that one, you're going to put your name personally on every loan.
Yep.
And then the other thing is, of course, is that you're going to max it out pretty quickly. And the last one is that the bank is going to actually, especially now that they're making it more difficult to raise capital, they're actually going to clamp down and actually artificially set a limit. And this is not a big deal if you only want to do one or two deals a year or so. But if you provide any volume at all, then only depending on bank financing alone, is probably going to you're going to hit a ceiling very, very quickly. So we have the obvious one, which is using your own personal cash and credit.
Yeah.
What are some other source of capital
the number one that you talked about is always my last choice, using my own cash or credit, and then that's something I have never focused on, and always I have my main things that I have done always have been either using private investors and a mixture of private investors and purchasing property subject to.
Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about actually using private lenders here. What is the term private lender? Some of our viewers may not know what that is.
Private lenders are people who've got the capital, they don't have the time or the knowledge to use that money to put it to work and get high rate of return on that. So when we use private lenders, what we offer is usually around 12% interest rate on the money that we borrow from them. We give them a loan or a note. We create a note and secure it against the property that we purchase. And so their money is secured against a property. Also, we offer a pretty good high rate of return, so they're happy with the returns. And like I say, these are people who have money in the bank. Most of them are getting 3 to 5%. Now, even if they get 5%, annual return on like CD or bond and things like that. So those are the kind of people you're looking for.
Okay, so a private lender is either probably here's some profiles of them: a small business owner, a physician, a general MD, a doctor, so forth. Chiropractors. They've been very good to us. And so just think about brainstorm a little bit about what some of those folks are. Now, there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to approach a private lender. Unfortunately, we don't have time to actually get into that because there's some legalities involved with that as well. We've already done that. We have the paperwork involved for that, for those kind of matters. But we just want to point out that private lenders are definitely people you definitely want to seriously look into. Now, which brings up to the next point, which is there's some confusion. A private lender, when we mention that, is not a hard money lender, right? That's actually a different category of people.
Definitely. Hard money lenders are people who are in that business. They have the knowledge, and these are investors. They are dealing with investors who have the deals, but they don't have the money. And usually, hard money loans are about 90% of the time are used for the houses that needs lots of repair. Banks are not going to give you a mortgage against those properties, but these hard money lenders are giving you the money. It's kind of a bridge loan. They'll give you the money to fix up to purchase the property, to repair the property, and once it's all repaired, you either sell it quickly, because their terms are very short also. They usually are giving you either 12 or 24 months, and they want their money back. So they're loaning you the money to buy the property, fix it up, and then once you're ready, either to sell it quickly or refinance it with a permanent financing, and you pay off their loan.
Okay. Now here's one of the advantages that a lot of folks don't realize that when you're working with a hard money lender is that when the deal is right, it's actually very easy money to get. The hard terms actually doesn't talk about the difficulty involved. It's actually the fact it's a hard asset. Real estate is considered a hard asset. That is something you can touch. That's where the term hard money comes from. And
it's actually easy money.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And the second thing is also, here's another benefit that a lot of folks don't realize when you're dealing with hard money lender, because they're an investor and they're putting up their money or somebody else's money on the line, they're actually going to give you a free deal review. So if you're being turned down with hard money lender, seriously think about whether the deal was actually any good or not, because they've already done their due diligence and they're saying they're not willing to hide their money in it, which means in their eyes it's not a good deal. So that's, if you're starting out, that's actually a way, to have somebody else take a look at it. Now that's the plus.
Just be careful. Sometimes hard money lenders might say no to you because they don't have the money to give it to you. So if that's the case, then just pay attention. But most of the time, hard money lenders, they, like Alex said, they are going to review the deal for you. They are going to look at all the benefits and all the negatives about the deal and see if it's worth them taking the risk.
Right. And in most cases, they don't. Depends on hard money lender. But in most cases, they're not going to also care about your personal credit. They're looking at the asset as actually trying to they're financing the asset, not necessarily financing you. Now that's the plus side. The downside is that it can be quite expensive, right?
Yeah, you're always looking at high interest rate, and you're also looking at points, which is going to be right up front money that they're going to make out of each deal.
Right. So just kind of put it in perspective here. Let's say you need to borrow $100,000 from a hard money lender. Most hard money lender will charge 5 points. That's $5,000 right up front. And just the cost of getting the capital. That doesn't include the ongoing interest on the capital.
Exactly.
And then a lot of times you have to also be aware of that there's could be prepayment penalties.
Yeah.
And some other things as well. So just review the paperwork carefully and make sure that the deal you have can actually service the fees associated with it. We've talked to folks who didn't calculate this properly and they thought they were going to make a profitable deal, but after borrowing the money, they actually broke even or made so little money that it wasn't even worth their time. So we talked about using your own personal cash or credit, which for us is definitely our last resort. Our preferred way of doing it is using private lenders.
Now, here are the pros to using private lenders. You are the one who's actually offering the terms, and so you got to be comfortable with the terms and offer what's going to make you happy and make the deal work. Second thing, they are very flexible.
Yep.
And when you need the money, you can get it from them. When you don't need it, you give it back to them, and there are no prepayment penalties or things like that. So the interest rates are great. There are no points. As far as closing costs, it's very limited. So those are very good pluses to use private lenders.
Sure. Okay. So then you have our own cash or credit, private lenders, which is our preferred way for all the reasons Ritev just went into. Then we also covered hard money lenders. Now the last one, which is also a lot of folks overlook, is actually seller financing. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Definitely. There are seller financing and subject to, which are basically on the same category. Seller financing is when you're purchasing a property and the seller acts as a bank. They really don't know that they are doing it, but in reality, when you're making an offer and you're offering kind of a seller financing deal or getting a seller financing deal from the seller, that's what basically. Sometimes when you create a note and ask the homeowner to get paid whatever the balance is in 5 years or so. Let's say you want him to be the lender. You say, I want you to get payments of so and so. Let's say $1,000 a month for next 60 months, and then I'll refinance the $80,000 after that 60 months, which is 5 years. So in reality, you just created a note of $1,000 a month for 5 years, and in reality, you ask the homeowner to be your bank for 60 months, and then you refinance it for $80,000, and which you created $20,000 of equity in there. So, or if the homeowner has a mortgage on it already, what you do is ask the homeowner to leave the mortgage in its place. Just all you do is take over the existing mortgage. You make the payments on the homeowner or the seller's behalf to the mortgage company every month, and that term could be, you usually do not leave a balloon payment, meaning you can say, I'll leave the mortgage in its existing place till I sell it or pay it off in the future. So that could be a long-term owner finance. Basically, you ask the homeowner to leave their credit, or leave that mortgage in its existing place and make the payments on their behalf till that is paid off, or all the way till the 30 year is over, and then that mortgage is paid off. So in that case, your money or your credit is not involved. It's just you're taking over someone else's payment.
And the cool thing about seller financing or subject to financing is when you can get it, it actually is the best form of financing there is, and certainly the cheapest way. And the only possible downside of that is that you have to be a very good negotiator. You have to obviously understand the concept. And you certainly don't come out and tell them, say, well, we'll finance me. There's certain verbiage that you actually want to use, and to actually get the seller to actually offer this. So we've done it very successfully many times in the past. So in closing here, again, I just want to go over the 4 forms of financing. As we said, the most important thing is like the no money down deal. They do exist, but that's usually about between 5 and 10% of the time. The other 90% plus or so percent of the time, we want to make you guys aware that you do need to have financing in place. That's either using your own cash or credit, either using private lenders, again, which is our preferred way of doing it, working with hard money lenders, or using seller financing / substitute financing, which is broadly the same thing. So again, this is Alex and Rateb with another video from the Go Coaching Club, and these and other topics are stuff we cover in our program, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.